Hey, and welcome to the show. I'm the Crypto Kid, and in these videos we take a look at Bitcoin and everything that's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. And if you're new to the show, thanks for joining, and we got a special episode just for you, especially if you're getting into Bitcoin recently. Now, we make daily videos here and we keep it relevant to what's going on in the news, so let's jump right in because we've had a pretty wild night all across the board in terms of cryptocurrency. Now, we're seeing a lot of red here this morning, and this is what investors call blood in the streets, so to speak, because this is when the opportunities come in to pick up those cheap coins and really get some deals. Now look, this is not financial advice, and you really have to be careful that this is in fact the bottom of the barrel here where we're going to hit a floor eventually. But you want to make sure to monitor this because at some point we're going to go back up again and we will start building up to those higher all-time highs eventually. So let's take a specific look at Bitcoin Cash here. Now, as you can see, we have dropped from around $1,300 last night down to about a low of around $1,100, just over that mark. But it appears that we've started to climb back up. But again, we have to watch this to see how those long-term trends will play out over the next 24 hours. Now, if you see here, I'll back out to about 24 hours back. Now you can see that we were roughly at about 1,500, and we've really just kind of hit some lows now. Now again, this is a time to watch because it is potential that we could go either way. Now if we look at BTC, we can see that we had that massive run up where we hit not only the $10,000 mark, but we crashed through that, hitting those $1,100 marks at an all-time high. So eventually that's gotta cash. People are gonna cash out. They want to take advantage of those heavy profits that they made, and eventually they'll get back in. But depending on where they put their money, that's where the interesting stuff comes into play. Now, we've talked about it before. A lot of people are getting out of the BTC chain, or what has been known as Bitcoin for so long, and they're taking a look at Bitcoin Cash because the fees are cheaper, there's more usability options in the real world, and a lot of merchants are getting on board as well. So this is again where you can see a lot of shake-up happening, where people are now getting out of certain areas and investing in other areas. So this is going to be a really interesting thing to watch over the next week or so. And again, as Bitcoin becomes more and more into the mainstream, more and more investors are going to be looking at this. Now, keep in mind, this is a highly volatile area. Cryptocurrency, you never know what's going to happen day to day. You know, the markets are growing, but they're still small enough that they can be manipulated, and even just a single news story coming out can just flip the coin, so to speak. Now, the big story that came out the other day was actually with the United States Federal Reserve, and they brought up the word Bitcoin. Now that surely will shake some heads, but they are talking about it and clearly looking at it very closely, and that's from their words, not mine. Now, I'll leave a link to this article here, but clearly this is something to look at because as Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world continue to grow, the governments are going to want to get a piece of that. And depending on how they choose to use it or restrict it, that will come, and it will clearly be different with all countries across the world, but something to look into because it's on the US's radar and they're talking about it in public, and that's a big deal. Now they are talking about it being a bubble. Now this is one of the senators who mentioned this, but again, I mean, if they're going to be investing in it, that clearly makes you interested as well. So for those of you getting into Bitcoin for the first time, congratulations. Thanks for watching because this is going to be something for the future. Now, this is just the beginning, and there's a great article here from Bitcoin.com. I'll leave it in the description below. It's about how beginners to Bitcoin can safeguard your crypto holdings and really, secure those coins, whether it's on a wallet. And if you're not familiar with wallets, this is a great article to start with. Basically, wallets are how you can store your cryptocurrency. There's different versions. This one here is a hard wallet. I recommend using a hard wallet because it's one of the safest ways that you can store your crypto. And not only that, it gets into passwords, TFAs, which is an extra layer of security. And so this is a highly recommended article here, and I will leave this link in the description box below to check out. Now, the other asset I can tell you is bitcoincash.org. Now, this is a wicked site. Bitcoin.com is great as well, but what's good about bitcoincash.org is they get into specifics for Bitcoin Cash. So who's mining it, where you can keep it, the wallet specifically. Now, Bitcoin.com has an awesome wallet for Bitcoin Cash. It allows you to send and receive either chain, and they'll do a division for you. So if someone sends you BTC to your BCH chain, that's okay. You can set it up so you can receive both to the same wallet. Now, the cool thing here is that they have tons of options to choose from. So whether you're in a certain country, it might not work for you. But other countries will allow you to do so. So if we take a look at the exchanges, this is typically where you're going to buy, sell, and trade your Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now, if you're a Canadian, you might want to check out Quadriga CX because they work well with the Canadian banks, allowing you to exchange within not only with US funds, but with Canadian funds as well and other cryptocurrencies. And if you're in the US, it's also another great spot to be. But there's all types of options here. Kraken is good if you're in the UK potentially. Bittrex allows you to trade a wide variety of coins with your BTC or BCH. And a lot of new news is coming out, especially with BitThumb potentially opening up pairings with BCH. So wicked asset here. I'll leave the link below for you to check out, and I highly recommend you doing the research into Bitcoin Cash because that's where I'm putting my time, money, and resources, and I would encourage you to check that out as well because the future is bright for BCH. And I'm not saying that Bitcoin itself isn't going to see some of those higher numbers again. I can almost guarantee you it will. But for myself, in the long run, Bitcoin Cash is the one to watch, and I will continue to do so. So hopefully you find these videos interesting, and I hope that they have helped you out, because if you're new to Bitcoin, this is an exciting place to be. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.